news wrap up. You did. I'm a fan of the news. I grew a fan of the news. Watching South Florida Local 10 back in the days with Dwight Lauderdale, and that was like my favorite journalist ever. You feel me? Because I like the way he presented the news. He seemed like a strong black man. He was the lead anchor. Um, you could see his emotions behind stories. It didn't just seem like. Sometimes I believe like, cause you gotta etiquette. You gotta play within broadcasting, right? But I think you owe just moral authority over yourself before anything, to where you will be like have compassion for stories. So perfect example, in South Florida, some of the journalists, they be so happy to get that airtime, especially behind a big story. That I even heard one time the tape was still running, and the guy was telling the guy, he was like, "I'm finna throw you a bomb." Like nobody deaf can be sensationalized to where you can think that's throwing somebody a bone or exposure or clout over somebody deaf. I think that's how the original clout got started. I say that to say sometimes it ain't just South Florida, it's all over the country. Young journalists, I ain't seen it where I'm at, but young journalists, they'll report a story about murder, and they'll come to the camera smiling and stuff. And it's like ain't nothing funny about that. You feel me? You supposed to come with empathy, and you supposed to have, if it affects you and moves you, don't be afraid to cry. I think we need some naturalness brought back into that. Anyway, let me carry on with what these stories is I'm seeing. So we're gonna start with Abercrombie and Fitch, Mike Jeffries. Lord have mercy. Good evening, Georgia. Good evening, America. Um, I'm Christopher Griffin, and I'm here to let you know what's happening. This man is on a Diddy kind of charge. I think if Diddy beat, like when people beat cases, or when cases they don't beat cases, whenever their name is brought up in proceedings, legal proceedings, case law is then created. You feel me? A dialogue of how to proceed in future cases can be brought from that. You feel me? So I say that to say it wouldn't surprise me if one day there's something called like a Diddy law. You feel me? Where they name it, "What's good with you, Olivia? Hey, what's good? Love." You feel me? And y'all see, I've been eating good too. You feel me? Getting that weight back up. But yeah, so point is though, this man on a Diddy kind of charge. That's why I say they might name a charge after Diddy. Just call it a Diddy kind of charge. And he was the CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch, and it was kind of funny because when I was young, you know what I'm saying, I always been fit and stuff like that. Hello, y'all, my boy, what it is with your white them? And I remember they had a store called, well, they still got Aventura Mall in Miami. It's in Aventura. And don't take your light from me, shit. If you liked my shit, like you green as fuck, that you would take time to unlike some shit. Fall your ass back, dummy. Anyway, so fucking they had Abercrombie and Fitch back in the days, and I don't know about where y'all from, but you had people standing in front of that and they model and they fit. You feel me? So I went and applied. I went and took my shirt off and shit, and it was like it was. If you was got to be a model at Abercrombie Fitch, you gonna have all the chicks jocking. You feel me? Your job was literally to sit there and look good and have women flirt with you all day. Like what person wouldn't pay for that back in the days? Now, as far as the shit that's over, I mean, I'm talking about you got paid to do that. Now, the shit that's far as the models that had direct contact, I feel like you gotta prosecute Buddy to the max, and because when you're a leader of men, you feel me? They got some people that say, men amongst boys, leader of boys, and then you're a leader of men. You feel me? You're a leader of men. You can't exploit, like, who gives a fuck about your sexuality? You can't use your position to try to sway these young, impressionable, because they're looking at you from a business standpoint. It's very few times in life a person will respect you for whatever you might be doing in life. But when a person is looking at you and they like, damn, I respect your business practice, I respect your business savviness, and then they coming at you wide eyed and stuff, and you exploit that for your own sexual prowess, you that's disgusting. That's disgusting. So that's one news. I'm gonna leave that at that. We're gonna see where that case go. Then what they got popping up, bird flu cases and people quietly tick up. Don't know what that is. Don't care to talk about it. Man found guilty after kidnap a woman escape cylinder block cell in Oregon. Jesus Christ. I ain't even finna get into that. Chicago to begin shutting down separate migrant shelter systems. All right, so check this out. Let's talk about it. We in political season. New York, Chicago, all these cities got flooded with migrants. They had said that, hey, you want to let them flood the borders? We're going to send them to your cities and we're going to see if your system of socialism can hold them up. And what it did is nearly deplete the system faster. Matter of fact, I'm going to let this kind of segue me into a deeper topic, which is somebody trying to kill the dollar? Like literally, is somebody intentionally trying to destroy the value of the dollar? You feel me? Like, because I say that to say I went doing my research and on what they talking about with Trump. They say Trump trying to stop Social Security, and so I seen some. It showed that he's trying to stop the taxes that you get taxed on it. So then people say, well, if you start the taxes on Social Security, then you're gonna deplete other programs, and it's gonna make Social Security run out or something. It's gonna run the deficit up faster and make Social Security run out even faster. Then they saying with Kamala shit, and she keep giving this shit away to people that ain't for, as you done seen time and time. It ain't her giving it away. She's not the president. Joe Biden giving it away. You feel me? But she bears that responsibility since she said she wouldn't do nothing different from him. You feel me? See, it's like this. It's if and I ain't gonna switch big into the politics race real quick, but let me just tell you one last thing about Kamala for the entire election season. If I was Kamala, now they say she ahead, so it's really no need for to do it. But if she was behind, what I would do, I would air a last minute campaign where I show my a commercial of me debating Joe Biden during the primaries when she called them out on the busing law that he was a part of, and she talked about how she was one of the first to integrate her schools, and she wouldn't have been able to do it due to the politics that he supported. You feel me? It shows that's the biggest point of her political career that it ever showed the biggest contrast between them. You feel me? That so I think she gotta literally throw him under the bus because when he showed up to that event with a MAGA hat on and he the president of the United States and he a Democrat, he showed her what he think of her. So she should, on whether I feel like this is the closest she gonna ever get to being president. She never gonna win no primary. She was selected to be this far. So she gotta pull all the showstoppers out and just throw him under the bus and say, hey, I don't agree with his policy. I'm the vice president. I got a job to do. I gotta do the best in my role. You know what I'm saying? Some people might be in a music group. We don't seen music groups where the second singer, he wasn't the lead singer, but he could sing better, but he knew his role. So Karma looking liking herself to that. Like, hey, I feel I could be a better president, but I got to play my role as vice president. That's to me what I would say to the people and let the people know me and him have no identical ways of approaching things. So don't put me in that Biden category as things is gonna stay the same. That's how you sell yourself to the people. You gotta show separation. And the biggest point that she showed separation was during the last primaries that they had when she went against him. You feel me? So that's regarding that. Now, speaking of that, look at these phones. I wasn't even. It bring up Kamala, and I was talking about some other shit. I don't know. Let's see. Buying a home gets easier. Key battleground counties, but voters. Oh, let's talk about that real quick. So, in my local politics, it's a lot of like a lot of local elections going on, and me being new to Georgia, I ain't want to just jump in and vote and not know who I'm voting definitely, but I wanted to do my thorough research because I don't know none of the candidates. And so, based off my early experience so far, I'm of the mindset that when I do vote, I'm gonna be leaning toward a lot of the new candidates rather than the incumbent candidates because I feel like if you've been in office for 10, 12 years or however many terms you've been in, and you've gotten just as far as you've gotten, and it's beautiful. I love where I'm at. I love the environment. I love it. But what I'm saying is, if you're looking for progression, I need to see your record. And when I'm looking at your record, I see this in multiple races, not just one particular candidate. I see not these mosquitoes coming out as soon as I compliment shit. Anyway, I see slight stagnation. You feel me? And then I see a lot of new candidates with new ideas, new innovative ideas, borrowed from other cities. That's how you get better as a city. You look at the successful cities and you model your city outside of that. Now, your city might have an economy built on a different industry. You might be from an industry that is based off of tourism, your city mates. Or if it doesn't get it off of tourism, you might have plants and factories in your city where y'all produce a lot. Whatever drives your city, outside of that, you figure out all the innovative things you can incorporate that big cities use, or bigger cities, not even just bigger cities, because you got big failing cities. And then you got small growing cities. So I'm not going to say a bigger city, but you look at the cities that are thriving, where the household income is the most, then you start to say, because a lot of times people tie, I believe, household income into education, and that might do play a big role. If you see me keep scratching because a mosquito or a gnat, whatever fruit fly that got on my ass. But anyway, education plays a role somewhat into household income. But I do believe that where you at plays a role, because you got people that without the education, but if you're in the right place, you can make that good money. All just depending on where you at in America. That's how it goes. You feel me? So when I'm looking this election season, I'm gonna be looking for, if I do pick a incumbent candidate, it's gonna be somebody who I seen that things have been improving steadily with. Not nobody where it seemed like it's just been stagnant, that people been asking for this shit to be built, or this has been being promised about being built, but it never got built, but it was talked about 3 years. Anything that was talked about being built 3 years ago should already be underway. That's just period. That's with anybody, or any projects that was supposed to be undertaken, supposed to already took place. You feel me? So that's that with that. And then let me see what else. They got Obama rallies Democrats in Wisconsin. Now let me tell you, America, I'm President Obama. I'm gonna be all across America. I'm gonna be campaigning for the right thing. You don't leave out on my Obama impression, motherfucker. You gotta put some respect on my Obama impression. I'm probably the second or third person that does an Obama impression this good. So next time you come in the room and wanna look at me doing my Obama impression, I want you put a little respect on it, little bitch. Let me see. You got damn, I need mosquitoes on my ass. I know it's some more stars, bitch. Let me see. What the fuck? Oh, this quarter pounder at McDonald's. Nigga don't eat McDonald's anyway, so that's really not a stir. Like, nigga trying to stay. I can't remember the last fast food hamburger I wanted to eat, but I do want to try the Jack's bacon stack with the barbecue and shit. That shit look gooder than the bill. I try the Jack's burger. But other than that, outside, I ain't interested in trying no fast food hamburger, so that ain't a problem for me. The little E. coli or whatever the shit they got going with that. Let me see what other stores we got popping. Let's see. Let's go to CNN. What's CNN talking about? Let's go world. Okay, so overseas. Well, ain't nothing changed. Whole villages still get wiped out and shit. Buildings getting blown up. The first aid, first responders who we celebrate so much in America is getting their heads blowed off trying to save the people. They ain't got shit to do with the war. They not no insurgents. They not no fighters. They not no gangsters. They none of that. They just humanitarians trying to do their job, and it's always the humanitarians getting fucked up. You know what I'm saying? They doing. You want to talk about what's brave? I'm gonna tell you what's brave real quick. I'm gonna tell you the bravest kind of person in the whole wide world. It's a motherfucker who will run into a war with no intention to kill, just intention to save as many lives. I'm gonna say that shit again. There is no dangerous job more dangerous than a person who will run into war, the middle of a war, motherfucker shooting on both sides. bitch got bombs and grenades and goddamn landmines, and they trying to save as many people as they can save. While everybody's shooting at them, they can get friendly fire, they can get combative fire, and they just trying to save lives. And you got a group of people right now currently just blowing their heads off like fuck them. I ain't gonna let you save them. I'm gonna shoot you too. Yeah, I know you're a civilian, but fuck it, you get it too. That's not even a casualty of war. That's a war crime. You feel me? But you know what I'm saying? That's that right there. That's part of the world news. They don't really show shit else outside of that war. What's going on? Oh, Cuba power grid. I'm gonna just leave that at that. I don't want to get in trouble with talking about that. I don't think that was natural though. Let's see. Fucking what else they got going? Turkish cleric once blamed for failed coup attempt dies. Scientists feared this huge ghost fish was extinct as General Perebo once accused of rights abuses takes up presidency of world's third largest democracy, which really ex general. So this is the thing, right? And we all are learning about American, like, well, we all learning how to be better humans, and we all learning about how to be Americans. You can be your whole family from here for 1,000 years, and you still learning how to be American. You still learning what's game and what's not game. How does this actual system works? You feel me? And I say that because in other countries, you know what I'm saying. I'm seeing this shit where a general took over, like he the president now, and you see this shit in a lot of undeveloped countries where the general takes on, like if somebody gonna challenge the president or if it's gonna be a coup or some shit like that, it usually be the general, cause he got the army, and whoever hold the guns and the power, that's who got the real power. Like I forgot, like nah, let me tell you, it was a banker back in the days, and you gotta forgive me, I'm scatterbrained. He said, "You let a president control the country, and let me control the money." Now, if you look at that statement in itself, it shows you what a power is right there. You could control all the civilians, and I'm gonna control the money. You did. Let me go into this light. I'm in the dark and shit. But hold on. Or I can cut the light on and just do it like nah. That's doing too much. Shit, let me get it right real quick. Alright, let me get this shit. Oh, you know what I want to do real quick? I want to cool like songs real quick. I was on the phone with my OG and we were chopping it up, and she's a man either. And she was asking me about, like, I don't want to really get too personal, but she was asking me about a certain woman, and I'm trying to describe like my old girl, like my relationship with my old girl, and I was like, she a man eater. And I ain't like, it's crazy because it's like if I was talking to a person my age from where I'm from, they'll interpret it like, oh, she just a eater. You feel me? Like some just gobbler type chick. But nah, this song, when I went to reading the lyrics, and people know the song, but they don't really be knowing the lyrics, and young folks won't know the song at all. A song called Man Eater. And this is the lyrics to the song. She only come out at night, the lean and hungry type. Nothing is new. I seen her here before, watching and waiting. Oh, she's sitting with you, but her eye is on the door. Now let me break that down. A woman can be sitting with you. You could be telling her. It's funny. I just went through. I guess you could say a recent situation like that. Well, you could be preaching the good gospel to the woman. I ain't talking about gospel in the sense of spirituality. I'm talking about it in life skills and ordinance and how you get shit done. And you could just be like showing this woman all the ins and outs. Not how you get shit done, but how she could get shit done. And they'll forsake that because they eye is on the door. They looking right now at what they're observing you like oh shit, yeah, oh, but they eye is steadily on the door is what he's saying. So you might be thinking you holding court or Kate like holding her attention, but really she's seeing what the situation is while her eye steadily on the door. That's what he's saying. He then say, so many have paid to see what you think you getting for free. Jesus, that's sauce. So many have paid. And now watch this. That's funny. Damn. Anyway, the man telling you so many have paid to see what you think you getting for free. So you up here with this bad bitch and you feeling yourself. You like, oh bitch, I got the baddest bitch. Nigga, I'm doing it, nigga. You know we all done had a bad bitch. You feel me? Multiple. But you feeling like I'm doing it. So many men have paid the price, whether it be financially or whatever, for this turn with her in life. And you about to pay the prices within. You just don't know you're about to pay the price. So many have paid to see what you think you free. The woman is wild, a she cat tamed by the purr of a jaguar. Bars, bars. The woman is wild, a she cat tamed by the purr of a jaguar. Most motherfuckers that fly over their head. She's a she cat tamed by the purr of a jaguar, a car. She's tamed when she hear that bitch roar, when that bitch crank up. She tamed. She's a she cat. Money's the matter. If you in it for love, you ain't gonna get too far. My goodness. And this is in like old classic rock songs, and you like, just be like, and then he go, oh, oh, here she come. Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up. Oh, his. You like, man, it's so that. You might say that shit, but you ain't catching these bars that these folks be dropping on you. You did. I guess I'm gonna do one at a time. Gonna even go looking for other ones because there's so many significant ones, and I hate to just pull out one like that. But that's a song that is very significant to men and women, and I would say it's prevalent to women now because you got a new generation of men who have, and I didn't come up in that generation, but I definitely don't hate on that generation, which is it's a generation of men who is they grew up living with women that's not their mama. You feel me? And those men existed even before me too. Even, I ain't saying I was ever one. I'm talking about even before I was even born. Those kind of men existed. But we in a generation of men who uh like that character off of Baby Boy where Buddy was like, y'all got me the PlayStation and shit. Like, it's them kind of niggas where they impose physical dominance or whatever it may be that like encapsulates this woman. And it's funny that when you hear the word encapsulate, it's like a capsule. You feel me? You stuck in this capsule where you're not necessarily under ball and chain, but you under this man, right? That you look as a supreme being, not a human being, a supreme being, meaning that, and there's men who look at women as a supreme being, like they will let a woman shit figuratively and literally on them, embarrass them in front of everybody, and they will take that shit. And you know, I'm a fan of slow music. I'm a fan of emotional slow songs. Like I'm a fan of H Town and shit like that, and Jodeci and shit. Like grew up that era, so I'm a fan of those Like baby, I cry for you songs. Niggas don't necessarily have to be doing it, but you a fan and you understand what songs like that mean. Emotions make you cry sometimes and shit like that. You feel me? You understand what a H Town song like special kind of fool mean when he's saying I be your special kind of fool. And when you, I like those songs. I always love those, but I never was that kind of person. So when I see those kind of men actually really do exist. I ain't saying nobody from those music groups was those kind of men. And so it's men that'll let a woman just bully and dominate them until they got no more to give and she gets tired of them. Like the funny thing is the same thing that men who do that to women, women ultimately do what the men end up doing to the women, which is when they have drained all the life out of this nigga, they eventually kill this nigga. They like, you know what, nigga, you just won't leave me. So either I'm gonna set your ass up or I'm gonna take you out myself. So those men is like a cow, like that. You ain't never seen a cow at a slaughter. You can literally lead that bitch to the machine that put a bullet in his head. It will eat out your hand to the last minute, and that's why it's some weak men. I ain't gonna say weak, but it's they feed off of being abused. You feel me? Same way it's vice versa in the world. So it's just I say that to say you got a people and a sect of people who value a person like they don't understand that it's so many like they so right. So for instance, they say when you have sex, that's a soul tie. Your soul get tied into that person. You feel me? It's like you might have, it could be vice versa. You might feel, oh, that person went shit to you. And then they feel like you was the greatest thing ever. Like I remember I had a conversation with this woman I ain't seen in years and we were chopping it up. And I told her, we was talking about some things about life and whatever she had done went through with a nigga I know. And I apologize about, you know what I'm saying, never being able to intervene if he ever had jumped on or whatever. And so then we were talking about when I had sex, because we had sex one time. And I said, yeah, that was such an awful performance. You know, I apologize about that too. I know it's probably forgettable. And that's when she informed me, she like, that was the best I ever had. But that was my interpretation. So I simply say that, because she wasn't the best I ever had. She was just the finest, beautifulest woman I had ever had at the time. So I say that to say when interact with a person and you give yourself away to a person, you tied in with in your soul tied in with their soul, you feel me? And so you gotta know that some people can't shake that you did. Like I myself, I'm gonna just talk about myself briefly real quick. I ain't gonna make a long part of me though. I'm past that with my baby mama. I just couldn't believe that what what couldn't I believe about the shit? I couldn't a healthy balance of not just like the mindset of you know that you just like for instance I was trying to be all righteous and shit, do shit the right way, wait on Mrs. Right, and I'm still waiting on Mrs. Right, but I'm gonna have sex in between. You feel me? I ain't gonna allow myself trying to be like, well, fuck it, I gotta save myself for my woman, cause then she gonna meet a sexually frustrated, agitated nigga if I don't get that off. So I gotta say that. So you have to have that. But at the same time, you gotta understand that when you do have just mindless sex with a woman, that's a soul tie. She attached to you in some kind of way forever. You attached to her in some kind of way forever. Because y'all souls have intermingled beyond just a verbal conversation. So y'all souls is tied. That could disturb you years later or maybe days later. And you wouldn't even know why. And then it's crazy because like though you physically have that desire and need for it, if you get enough of sex, it'll fucking like you will be so empty and unattached as a person that you could have the most beautiful woman and you fuck her and then you just roll right over on her, like you don't even look at her, like you almost look at her disgusted. It's like, and she's beautiful physically, but you just look like this. I'm just tired, but you physically, it's a crazy. It's hard to explain, but you like look like I remember it was a time in life, and I thought I had got past that, but in my early 20s, by me being privileged in that position I was in life, well, it was so many women I would roll over on their ass, and like they'll be, and it's crazy because it was rude as fuck, and they got more attracted to it. It was like, it's like when you were, it's crazy. I wasn't intentionally trying to be no asshole. You feel me? I was just more so of a like a hurt person trying to figure himself out. And so I liken that. Now I'm gonna bring that back. I share my story as a man to say that to the women who is known as whores or whatever. You never look at the emptiness of that shit. Like sex to her is empty. You feel me? Like she has probably, like for instance, so the recent girl, my home girl, and I've heard this story millions of times, all these molestation stories. Part of it derives from like trying to, I guess, get something back. And you don't know what the fuck you trying to get back. You just find yourself in these sexual entanglements and you're empty and emotionally and mentally empty. And you in these entanglements trying to get something back. Well, that's the same. You inviting now that you inviting now that anguish that they carry, and you invite the joy and you invite the pain, and you might not see it as the emotional pain then, but it's always a reason behind everything. And I don't even want to end that and conclude that, but shit, that was a hell of a point I made. I guess I will conclude. All right, y'all have a good one. It's been a great day. See y'all tomorrow.